What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. On UFC Fight Night, Taira versus Park takes place this weekend. We can thank Amir Albazi for pulling out. Apparently he wasn't medically fucking cleared to fight. Just an absolute, they discovered that he was just a fucking DNA abomination, so they just figured he wasn't fit to step in the cage with someone. I'm saying this as a fucking random bum sitting on the couch recording a video on my laptop, but we all hate Amir Albazi. But anyway, I like this main event better, honestly, in terms of, I wanted to hate watch Albazi, and I was very confident that Taira was going to smoke him, so my prediction for that was Taira by sub, or just dominant decision in the grappling. But Park is very good. Now, the ranking will make this look like less intriguing, but I genuinely think Hyung Sung Park beats Amir Albazi. It's just a take that I have. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm the messenger, so don't shoot me. But still, the card's pretty good. It lost some fights. This card looked a lot better. We had Bashi versus Francis Marshall. We had Felipe Lima on the card as well. We had Azamat Bakoev get 2 opponents cancelled. The Torres Finney fight was literally a top 5 anticipated fight of the year for me. So I was devastated that got cancelled. And then, he was briefly linked to a Yusri Belgarui matchup, but that's since been pushed back to Canada on October 18th because of visa issues. So we lost Bakoev, we lost Felipe Lima, we lost the Amir Albazi hate watch. The card's taken a couple hits, I won't lie to you, but still 12 fights, main card. The prelims are dog shit, but the main card is pretty solid. If they fixed the order, I will say that. I don't know why Rosa versus Cornell's on the main card. I guess because they're both ranked, but no one. I care more about unranked bantamweights than ranked women's fights. Anyway, let's get into the picks. Like and subscribe and shit. Let me know your picks in the comments and let's get underway. So we got a real tough cookie matchup here. These two are gonna just test each other's masculinity in the cage. They're gonna just rub clits together and see who wins. That was a fucking atrocious statement. I'm picking Ketlin Souza as an underdog. I don't know. I have to take some underdogs on this card. There's not a lot that stand out to me, so I'm going to just pick a women's underdog, and you can stop calling me Favourite Lane MMA. Get off my back about the the favourites only allegations. I picked multiple underdogs last week. They all lost, except for Bogdan Guskov. But still, I don't just pick favourites. So yeah, we will be picking a women's underdog and then complaining about a robbery when this goes to an inevitable split decision, like all unranked women's fights do. So Ketlin Souza, Pierre Rodriguez, it's actually concerning that the winner of this is probably going to be looking for a ranking. Pierre Rodriguez got DQ'd via headbutt. So my breakdown is, I'm not trusting someone who headbutts a rocked opponent and gets themselves DQ'd. There you go. That should be good enough breakdown for you. Let's move on though to the next fight. We lost our UFC debut, but we will be beating this random fucking bum that doesn't even have a profile picture, or doesn't even have a fucking PNG available of them. Now if you're wondering why I'm saying we for Austin Bashi, you might not be a long time viewer of the channel. Just check my last live stream and report back. I've been told I look like this dude. I do imagine if I didn't have acne, I'd look quite, and I was a bit whiter. I spent too much time in the sun. But if I was indoors all day, I reckon, and I didn't have acne, I would look quite similar to this dude. But Austin Bashi, looked pretty mid in his debut. Myself, I didn't look great. It was a tough fight, came in on short notice. I fought C-Rod. What are you gonna do? C-Rod fraud checks all the undefeated guys. We low-key got fraud checked by C-Rod. But what was I supposed to do? I had an undefeated record. I was never gonna win that fight against Christian Rodriguez. So I've been working on my takedown game. I was failing a lot of takedowns. I'm more of a jiu-jitsu guy, I was failing lots of takedowns in that C-Rod fight and just kind of got outgassed and pieced up on the feet. So I worked on the defense a little bit. I got in the gym with Yuri, training the head movement. We will be coming into this fight with our hands down by our waist and getting hit head first, just headbutting punches. Anyway, pick me to win. Put money on me, I'm gonna sub this bum. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, we got just a battle of just Brazilian skin tones. Right lane, I need your right lane if you're watching. I'm assuming you are. What's the ethnicity of these two? Which one is? I imagine Estevam would probably be Afro-Brazilian of heritage, and Felipe Bunes feels like a sort of Euro-Brazilian. name. So let me know there what's going on, because these two should not be from the same country. And I know there's going to be some person in the comments saying, like, what, you're saying people can't have different cultures and look different in the same country? Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. No, but Brazil is one of the countries where it's like, you will see about 7 different fucking archetypes of fighter. I'm going to do a UFC fighter archetypes video. But anyway, let's move on. I don't know, I didn't even fucking say my pick. I'm picking Esteban. Esteban beat Charles Johnson, which is actually a decent win. Now, his takedowns are really good. He's kind of like a not really as much finishing potential like Hamzat or Almeida-y kind of guy. In terms of, this dude dominates you early. Like, I don't think anyone's like had any fucking ounce of success in the first 2 rounds against this guy. He just wins the first 2 rounds from just back control. But against Bunez, who's kind of mid, I don't know. It could be a decision, but I'ma say Bunez is shit anyway, so I don't think Bunez is going to like finish him regardless. He beat Jose Johnson, congrats. Welcome to the club. This dude's 6'2" at flyweight, like he's a fucking prisoner of war build. So I'm picking Esteban. Even though he does gas, surely he has to work on that. Surely we don't see 3 fights in a row of this dude just death gassing in the 3rd and looking shit. He's undefeated, he's doing something right, I'll pick him to win. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, we got the lowest level fight of the card, probably, and that's including the women. Nick Klein versus Andrei Pulyaev, or Pulyaev. I'm picking Pulyaev to win. I don't know, Nick Klein just fucking sucks, dude. This dude's stance pisses me off. Like, I watched this guy fight and he pissed me off. Now, Pulyaev might be fucking shit, because he literally just allowed Christian Leroy Duncan to just maraud forward and just, like, beat him up and did nothing the whole time. But he didn't get finished at least. Now, he's built like a stick, so there's a good chance he just gets taken down and subbed. I don't know what Nick Klein, if he's good or not. He randomly landed, like, a spinning elbow on Mansur Abdul Malik. But apart from that, again, he kind of got beaten up the whole time. And Malik kind of sucks, is what we're learning. Klein won as like a big underdog and contender with like a really early submission, kind of fluky, ended up in a good position, got the choke. So, I don't know, like, again, this is literally a contender series fight. Neither of these two should be in the fucking UFC. Anyway, I'll pick Pulyaev or whatever by TKO. Let's move on. Next up, Rodolfo Vieira vs Tresean Gore. Now, Vieira's got all these grappling credentials, which kind of are being proven to not mean anything in terms of wrestling, jiu-jitsu, all of them. If you have like a martial arts background in just one sport, besides like Pereira and stuff, it's kind of been proved useless recently with all these guys coming through. You know, Bo Nickel, what's it called? The kid's name that just, the fat fuck that just lost, Bushesha. Like, these pure one specialist things really aren't doing that well recently. But Vieira's been around, he's kind of been proven. Gore's been around and been proven to just either fluke guillotines or just lose and get bitched. Now, Vieira's not much of a striker, so this isn't the archetype of guy who just bullies Gore and just tunes him up. Like, what are Gore's last losses? I know he got smoked up by Tulio. Let's look at Tresean Gore. Also, this dude just looks goofy as hell. I'm not fucking picking him. I'm picking Vieira via not looking like a fucking oddball. Like, I don't know. This guy's fighter nickname is Mr. Vicious, and you're 5-3, kid. Like, nothing's vicious about you, kid. Nothing's vicious about this, bro. Brian Battle beat him by decision. Cody Brundage KO. Yeah, you got KO'd by Cody Brundage. I'm not picking you. Your wins are Antonio Tricoli and Josh Friend. So yeah, pack it up, kid. As far as Rodolfo Vieira, like, close with Petrosky. Again, I'm not saying Petrosky's good, but like, close with Petrosky. Subbed Petrosian in a round, subbed Brundage, was in some trouble, but subbed Brundage, lost the decision to Curtis because he just couldn't get takedowns, subbed Stoltzfus, lost to Fluffy. Apart from that, won a couple fights. You know, I'm gonna pick Vieira though. I think the grappling will be too much here. Let's move on though to the next fight. Next up, Rinya Nakamura versus Nathan Fletcher. Nathan Fletcher might be the most British looking fucking human I've ever seen in my life. Nathan Fletcher and Davy Grant are vying for like the most British looking people. They both look a different type of British. Paddy's up there as well, and Arnold Allen. And Leon Edwards, honestly. He looks more British than all of them. But yeah, I don't know. This kid just looks like some, like, average British fucking schoolboy looking cunt. I don't know what he's doing. He looks like he's, like, 18, I swear to God. But, like, I probably fucking look older than Nathan Fletcher, dude. But, Rinya Nakamura, whether he dominates this fight easily and wins 30-27, or loses a split decision. Comes down to whether he consistently employs a wrestling game, and he's retarded, so I don't know if he's going to. So I'm putting him as a lock. Proceed with caution betting Rinya Nakamura, though, because he might just chin Nathan Fletcher. He might just absolutely fucking ragdoll him from start to finish. Or he might shoot one takedown in, like, one of the rounds and lose. Because that's what he did against fucking Ruin Gaffarov. As a minus, like, 800 favourite, this dude proceeded to shoot one takedown in the third and just lose on the feet like a spastic. So I'm assuming he was injured. I'm assuming he's going to come in here and look good. We haven't really seen him beat anyone good. Like, he beat Carlos Vera. And he also beat that other kid. What was the kid's name? Fuck. Did he beat... Yeah, he beat Carlos Vera. I'm not bugging. And then he beat the other guy. Who was the other guy? He beat Carlos Vera. And then who was the guy before that? I'm going to get Fernie Garcia. There you go. That's the pull. No one remembers Fernie Garcia, but I do. Real ones remember Fernie Garcia. Kid was making a run. He just got cut too early. But... Rinya should absolutely ragdoll Nathan Fletcher. Nathan Fletcher lost a kind of robbery decision to Callum Loughran based off getting smudged. Callum Loughran post-fight in the interview literally said, I had to marab him. And he still should have lost. But, like, I think Rinya is a much better wrestler than Callum Loughran. Therefore, I'm going to pick him to win comfortably. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, we will be knocking out Danny Silva in round 1, and we will be looking for a ranked opponent next, despite the fact that we're 23 years old. Kevin Vallejos, he might be younger, he might be 22, I don't know, I think he's 23. But no, this kid's special, this guy's a future top 5 fighter at worst, in my opinion. I think his ceiling is champion. I think his floor is like top 5, honestly. If he stays locked in, doesn't get carried away or anything, stays disciplined, he's going to beat a lot of guys. Like, I think he's ranking ready right now. This dude was competitive and won the first against Gene Silva. Like, he's really fucking good. His striking's good. He looks composed. He doesn't just wing shots like a spastic. Like, he throws with technique. He waits. My only concern is the size disadvantage here. I think he's going to be considerably smaller than Danny Silva because he looked a lot smaller than Jung Yong Lee. And so my worry is that against some guys, if he can't get past the reach, he might be susceptible to getting held on the end of a jab. But I think his boxing's just too good for that. The reach advantage is not crazy. He is 10 centimeters shorter. It's more the height. But he knows his reach. It's like Topuria. Like, he's built and fights like Topuria. He knows his game. He knows how to get on the inside. His pocket boxing's elite. So I think he's fought... Pretty much everyone he's fought has probably been a longer, rangier guy. And he was able to crack Gene Silva a bunch and just kind of only lost that. Again, it's fucking Gene Silva. I think he's going to be champion before Vallejos maybe even gets him back in a rematch. But Vallejos is really fucking good. Danny Silva, I had decent promise off coming off Contender Series. He beat, I believe, Angel Pacheco, I think the kid's name is, in a pretty fun scrap. Let me just double check that's true. But he had a good scrap on Contender Series, like a really fun fight. Came in, fought Josh Kulabau. Close one. Thought he could have lost, thought he could have won. It was close. I think he won. But hasn't looked overly impressive. He's 10-1, hasn't been knocked out yet, but also, you ain't fought Kevin Vallejos, kid. Yeah, it was Angel Pacheco, decision, then Josh Kulabau to split, and then Lucas Almeida split. The Almeida split is the one that I'm not a fan of. Again, I thought he won that pretty clearly. I don't know how that was a split. But still, like, Almeida's not good. Like, I don't think Lucas Almeida's good. He's 34. I think this guy's mid as fuck. This guy's 1-3 in his last 4. And his only win is over a motherfucker named Timmy. So, yeah, I'm not picking Danny fucking Silva. He's plus 400 or 300 for a reason. Vallejos KO. Or he just pieces him up for a decision if he can't find the finish. Let's move on, though. Next up, we got the Unk fight of the card. Zaleski dos Santos. Azuleu Capoeira, Zaleski dos Santos, if you want to fucking read his topology name or whatever it is, versus Neil, the Haitian sensation, Magny. Unks, which Unk is going to still got it? You know, this is an Unk still got it, but it's not really, because the Unk still got it has to sort of be them fraud checking a prospect. Why is there police cars going past my house? But that's the Unk still got it, so we don't really get that here because they're both fucking senior citizens. But I think Zaleski's better. I think Zaleski has looked good against better opponents recently than Magny, who I don't put any stock into. You might say, oh, you've been Mike Malott. I don't put any stock into getting your ass whooped for 3 rounds and then Malott just death gassing and then you come back to fucking beat Malott. Like, I don't think that's fucking impressive. Like, let's check his record, because he got fucking brutally KO'd by Prates. He got smoked by Michael Morales. He's got subbed in the first round by Burns. He got subbed in the second round by Shavkat. Now, again, am I saying that Zaleski is any of these guys? No, which is why I don't think it'll be a finish as much. But let's look at fucking Neil Magny. No, let's look at Zaleski, because like the last loss to Chitty by TKO, not a great look, but Chitty's an explosive guy with a reach advantage, more powerful. You know, I thought Zaleski was going to be able to grapple him up a little bit, but like let's think about it. He smoked Zachary Scroggin as he should, and the record recently is not good. He's won 2 losses and a draw in his last 4. But the draw was against Renat, where he had this dude hurt so badly to the body in the third and kind of should have won that fight. And then it was a Randy Brown decision loss where he looked actually good. And that fight was competitive. Like, let me look at the scorecard for that. Zaleski versus Randy Brown. I remember, because I think people thought, because Randy Brown had just come off that, he chinned Muslim Salikov, and everyone, which is aged really well, and everyone was kind of just like, oh yeah, he's going to fucking smoke Zaleski, Zaleski's way too old, but the fight was actually competitive, and I remember being like, okay, yeah, Randy Brown won that, but like, it's not that clear. It was 29-28 across the board. Zaleski won the second across on every judge's scorecard, so like, I think he got dropped or something, Zaleski, but I don't think Magny's fucking dropping you, and I just think he's got more power, a bit more physicality, and I just don't know how many craftings Neil Magny has left, you know. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, we got another scissor off, you know, Nora Cornell versus Carl Rosa. I don't know, I'll pick Cornell, I guess. I actually think Cornell can win this. Carl Rosa hasn't looked that good recently. She had that fucking war with Irene Aldana, which I know we shit on women's MMA. That shit was actually sick. That was a lot better than any of the bullshit on that 296 card, you know, because that was a fucking questionable pay-per-view, bro. You know, Leon versus Colby might have been, like, the most dog shit fight I've seen in a minute. And somehow the highlight of the card was Josh Emmett absolutely fucking nuking someone, and it was just that, because everything else from memory was kind of mid. I think Shamil the Blob Gaziev made his debut on that card, so that's a historic night. But, like, Pantoja didn't have, like, an ultra-memorable performance. He won in a relatively fun fight, but that card, from memory, was not particularly good. Tony Ferguson lost to Paddy, which was just sad. So, like, yeah, that card was AIDS. And Carol Rosa and Irene Aldana were the fight of the night. Since then, I think, again, she took a lot of damage there, so I think she's sort of fighting a bit more tentative. She beat Pani Kianzad in a decision. I thought she beat Eileen Perez and got robbed, but still, I think Eileen Perez sucks. Now, Nora Cornell, again, you can't even resume check these bitches, because like they've all just got random losses here and there. Cornell, to be fair though, has only lost to one woman. She has 2 losses on her record. It's her first fight, and it was her second to last fight against Jacqueline Cavalcanti, who is quite good and who does actually have some element of technique as a woman's fighter. So yeah, I'm going to pick Cornell as an underdog. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. I think she can be a bit more aggressive, a bit more lesbian, you know, get the win. Let's move on, though, to the next fight. Next up, Esteban Ribovic versus Elvis Brenner. I hit that so well. Esteban Ribovic, I think, is going to win this fight by TKO later on. Maybe just a dominant UD damage based. I think he's just crisper with the boxing. And apart from a comeback win over Garam, if you look at Elvis Brenner's career, it's kind of not impressive at all. Like, I mean, you can look at him and say he's shown heart and toughness and grit and, you know, put up a good fight. You know, I thought he fucking did not beat Zubair Tukagov. I don't know how the fuck he won that fight, to be honest. And then he beat Garam in a fight that he was just getting tuned the fuck up. Look, no, to be fair, I will say, he did win. He was winning majority of the first, and he got busted up at the end of round 1 and dropped badly, and then round 2 he got fucking sliced open with an elbow. Garam is known to have dog shit cardio because he's a fucking technique merchant that, like, has no, like, fat on his frame. So, like, dude, if you're that ripped, your cardio is going to be dog shit. And it is. And we've also just seen Garam's fucking mid. Like, Garam just got whooped up by Quay Fernandez, just tuned up, put away badly with fucking with the Topuria brothers and Hamzat Chimaev in the corner, and you got fucking raped. Bate was like so close to getting stopped on like 7 different occasions in that fight. And if we look at the rest of Elvis Brenner's career, you know, he KO'd Kainan Kraszewski, who's just the fighting nerd's fucking training dummy who just gets tossed around, and probably just takes CTE in the gym. Like, he's probably just getting wheel kicked by fucking Roofy and just like clip farmed by Gene Silva in the gym for a living, and they're just like probably just paying him, you know, for it, you know. And then after that, he had a tough fight, back and forth, gritty fight with Oralbai. Stylistically, I think that's a matchup made for him to look half decent in. Like, Oralbai was able to sort of out physicality him and kind of bully him a bit on the ground. And Oralbai's cardio isn't tremendous either. It's not bad. Like, he showed some rally in the Rebecca fight, who's also fighting after this. But I don't know, Elvis Brenner, and then he just got whooped up by Joel Alvarez. He just looked so hittable. Like, he actually looked worse. He looks like his striking looked like it fucking regressed in the. Am I wrong for saying his best performance was Garam, clearly, but like since then he looks worse. It's not like it's not like these fights were beforehand and then he improved and beat Garam. It's like he beat Garam and we're like, oh, this dude might be a guy, and then he just gets fucking smoked. And then Alvarez, I know Alvarez is rangy as fucking Alvarez would tune up Ribovic, if we're being honest, because he's just that sharp of a striker. But like, I cannot ignore the fact that he was literally running headfirst into punches with fucking no defense. And the only reason why it was not a round 1 KO is just because his chin's good. So that's the question of late TKO or decision. I think Ribovic cracks. Ribovic hurt Haqparast on numerous occasions. He had Zalhuba hurt pretty bad. Zalhuba's a guy with good survivability. So I think this is a dominant outboxing with just cleaner hands of Ribovic. And I don't think this is even the same risk level as the Haqparast fight, where I was very confident. I called Ribovic a lock there. But in all fairness, Haqparast does have quicker hands. I still think Ribovic got fucking brutally robbed and won that fight, clearly. I guess it's the universe karma paying back for Haqparast getting robbed by... Oh, no, it's dumb. Never mind. He lost both. Haqparast won. I thought he got robbed against Gordon. He won a robbery against Gordon, and then he also won a robbery here. So Haqparast's win streak is fucking fraudulent. But... yeah, I thought Ribovic won that, but the thing is with Haqparast was able to look good in the first was he did have a hand speed advantage. I don't think Brenner's got a hand speed advantage over like Ribovic here. I think he's going to be slower, more sloppy, less technical, and I think Ribovic is going to be the guy improving more in his career. He's younger, he's dangerous, he KO'd McKinney, stuck in there against Loic Rajdabov on his debut, which was a tough fight, you know. Has looked good, tuned up Kamala Kirk, you know, he's looked good in his career for the pretty much most of it. Looked pretty solid against Zalhuba as well, in a more tricky stylistic matchup than this one. This is a guy who's just gonna box with you, and I think he's just got better boxing. That's the only fucking thing I think there is to say about this fight. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, we got this fucking Sean Sherk reincarnate, Polish Sean Sherk with no hairline, Mateusz Rambeski versus Chris Duncan, Chris the Guillotine Duncan. This dude might as well be French with the amount of fucking guillotines he's tossing out there. I'm not fucking picking this dude to win by guillotine again. Like, the pick here is Rebecca. I just think he's fucking better. Like, are you going to tell me that Duncan would beat Oralbai? Are you going to tell me Duncan would beat CDF? Like, I know Rebecca didn't, but like, are you going to tell me CDF wouldn't fucking tune up Duncan? And CDF looked actually really good in that fight. Like, Rebecca looked good early, and Rebecca's cardio is also a bit of an issue, but... Are you telling me Duncan goes out there and finishes Loic Rajdabov early and just tunes and just whoops his ass and just beats him up and finishes, like, pity stoppage, finishes him in the seconds? Like, don't think you are. His debut against Nick Fiorella was mid, but, like, apart from that, he's looked really good. Like, he's just whooped people up. Roosevelt Roberts took care of him easily. And I like the fact that he's not, like, someone like a Ludovic Klein struggled with the Roosevelt Roberts and made him look kind of decent and, like, made that fight look kind of mid. Rebecca hasn't, like, looked mid against these layups. Now, I know you might say, oh, but he got tuned up and got all his eyes swollen up by CDF. CDF's a more, like, kind of crafty technical striker. We kind of see these guys now with, like, MJ and with... and that MJ win for CDF aged well as well. But, like, you see these guys with, like, MJ and, like, Davey Grant, these older guys who are weirdly still, like, sharp and good strikers and are able to sort of tune these guys up. And that's kind of what happened. He dropped him early. CDF survived, and then Rebecca just kind of gassed. And yeah, Rebecca's got fucking no reach. So that is the only issue, but I don't think Chris Duncan is a technical range striker who can stick behind a 1-2 and tune this dude up. He was like on death's door against Charlie Campbell and then just fluked to KO. But Charlie Campbell's kind of fucking mid. So that was on Contender. And apart from that, like, he got put away in the first by Manuel Torres. It's not like we hadn't seen this guy lose. That's all I'm saying. It's not like Chris Duncan is just some undefeated fucking prospect here. Like, I'll get the official record up now, but I know he got put away by sub in the first by Torres, which is not a bad loss to have, but like, I think Rebecca could probably beat Torres. The range would be an issue. But let's look at Duncan. Like, he's got 2 losses on the record. Let's double check what they are. I know the one was the Torres fight. Does he have another UFC loss? He lost by KO on... This is what I mean. He's been he got KO'd by fucking Borshev on Contender back in 2021. And then he almost got KO'd by Charlie Campbell. He beat Omar Morales by split decision. You had Nalash Muz, who had a broken arm by unanimous decision. And then you subbed Oki, who just dove into a guillotine. I don't view round 1 guillotine wins as impressive. Just a take of mine. Like, they can be, obviously, if you just dominate someone from pillar post, take them down, and then get a guillotine. But, like, if you just pull a ghillie and this spastic just dives into guillotines and just doesn't, like, get out of them, I don't think that's impressive. The Vucenic win was more impressive, but, like, we've now learned that Vucenic is mid. Because Vucenic was competitive with Guram, which, yeah, sure notice, but still, we're learning Guram fucking sucks. So, I just don't see a path to victory here. I don't think you're guillotining this fucking muscle hamster, like, juice head looking dude, with no neck. Like, that's his game. I think your way to beat Rebecca is tune him up at range behind like an Alvarez. I think would give Rebecca trouble just because he would, and they were booked. That's a fight that some of you might forget was booked. I'm really disappointed we never got to see that. It was booked on that. It was booked on that Apex card last year. I believe it was the card that ended up being headlined by Nicolau and Perez. This card, it was booked for that. Ended up getting cancelled. I think someone had visa issues. Must have been Alvarez, because then Rebecca got rebooked for a few weeks later. But that's a sleeper fight that I wish we could have seen. But, like, that's the thing. When this dude's going to have a fucking 10-inch reach advantage like Alvarez would have, that size discrepancy would have been fucked. But, like, something like that. But, like, he's got strong grappling. He has his own submission skills. And I think his power is just too much for Duncan. So I'm picking Rebecca by TKO. I think he gets him out of there. Anyway, let's move on to the... And I want to see a ranking next for him, like, after this. I know he lost to CDF. Since then, he's looked good. The Oral Bar win is aging really well. Oral Bar just smoked Tafik Masayev in a round. So, yeah, I want to... If he can go out there and do work on Duncan, who's on a 2-fight finish streak, 2-fight submission streak, then I think we give him, like, a back-end... I think we give him, like, a Chandler, honestly. There's no chance Chandler accepts. But we've just seen Mauricio Rufy basically fucking tell us he's fighting BSD without officially telling us, because I assume the UFC's like, alright, this is what I imagine. The UFC probably has like parameters of like, alright, give it a few weeks before you say anything, then you can post fight news soon, and then you can kind of give some hints and like tease him. You could have been a bit more subtle than fucking playing French music while eating a croissant, pouring yourself a coffee. Like basically just confirming, yes, I'm fighting BSD. If he's not, elite level troll job, I can't lie. But assuming that's the fight and not Rufy versus Chandler, which I wanted to see, like, fuck Chandler, stop being a privileged little cunt and waiting for big fights. You're on like a 7-fight losing streak, get a grip. You can go fight Rebecca after this, or Ziam after he beats Fernandez. Anyway, let's move on. I'm really tempted to try several Asian impressions, but I'm gonna refrain. Tatsuro, you racked this up, Tatsuro Taira. I'll stop. I'm not going there. There's too many fucking South Park things running through my head right now. Tatsuro Taira vs Young Sung Park. Bobby. Rook. Okay, stop. Fuck's sake. Anyway, he probably thinks you're what's... So, when do we eat, dog? Fuck's sake. I find this way more funny than you guys do, probably. I'm just gonna sound like an idiot. Anyway, Young Sung Park versus Tatsuro Taira. Anyway, so yeah, I'm picking Taira to win. I don't know. Like, Park's good, and there is like the vibe of like, let me be crafty and fucking pick Young Sung Park, but like, I just can't. Like, he looked really good against Hernandez, and he was prepping on... But, like, he was taking the Usyk fight on short notice. Now he's taking this on even more short notice. Like, he was prepping for a striker in Usyk. Now he's got the grappler. Taira's hittable, so, like, maybe he can win on the feet, but I just think Taira's too good in the grappling, so... You're not going to get a really long breakdown out of me for this one. I just think Park is just not good enough in the grappling just yet. He's undefeated, but that to me is like, I'd rather be Tatsuro Taira right now than Young Sung Park. Like, I'd rather be the guy with the loss to fucking Brandon Royval in a 48-47 split decision. Shouldn't have been a split, but close fight across 5 rounds where I had big moments and almost had him out of there, rather than the undefeated guy who still kind of hasn't had that step up in competition. I'm picking Taira. I think the grappling's too good. I don't know, maybe it's a decision. I might change my pick to a decision. We'll see. I'll say sub, though. I'll say he's really crafty at getting it to the ground. Like, his actual takedowns and wrestling isn't the best. But, like, if we give this dude good takedowns, like, if we give this dude, like... Let me think. Who's, like, got really lighter weight classes? Who's got really, really good takedowns? Like, if this dude had Pantoja's takedowns, or, like, even Makhaev's takedowns are mid. If this dude had Pantoja's takedowns, he'd be, like, unbeatable. Like, his submission top control game is so good. Like, Royval looked genuinely stuck when he was underneath this dude. So, I'm picking Taira. I'd like to see Park do well in this division, but I also want to see Taira rebound. So, unfortunately... Park, I wanted to see Taira whoop up Albazi. I was hate watching this weekend. I'll put aside the hate watch. I have no issue with Park, but I will still be rooting for Taira. But I also wouldn't hate seeing another new guy in the division. And also, the winner of this, I know it's going to sound crazy, with the state of the division, if Pantoja goes out there and beats Van, genuinely the winner of this shit's like not even unrealistic to be getting a title shot just because of the little amount of contenders. And if Pantoja wants to just run off names that he hasn't already beat, like a Cap fight's there, but Cap needs to fucking show up to a fight for once. And I'm not trying to see Moreno again. So like at this point, honestly, this is the winner of this could get a title shot if against only Pantoja next. If Van wins, it'll stop things. But am I wrong for saying that if Pantoja subs Van like inside 2 minutes, or not 2 minutes, inside 2 rounds, I should say, the winner of this, with a finish especially, would probably not be unrealistic for a title shot. Anyway, that'll do it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Those are the picks. Again, 2 underdogs out of 10, out of 12, so I just don't see many underdogs that are going to win. Klein might. Puliaev's mid as hell, but so is Klein. Klein... If I'm saying I have to pick underdogs, these are not my picks, but if I had to, if you're saying pick 5 underdogs that are most likely, I'd say in order, Cornell was my favourite underdog of the week, just because I don't think Royce is that good. Again, I don't like any of them. I'll say Cornell, Souza, Klein, Magny's a good shout, and then I'll say, who else? I honestly think Park's got a half-decent chance with his striking. Anyway, guys, goodbye. See you later. New video coming tomorrow. I don't know what it'll be, but someone let me know in the comments what video to do. Goodbye.